Scott and Jewett, a science teacher at Scott's children's school, married quietly in 2021. Scott filed for divorce from Bezos, to whom she had been married for 25 years, 2 years before their wedding. Scott announced shortly after her divorce from Bezos that she planned to give away the entirety of her fortune. Scott was awarded roughly $36 billion in the divorce. "I have a disproportionate amount of money to share," she wrote in 2019, "and I intend to continue until the safe is empty." Jewett appeared to join Scott in the mission to donate their wealth during their marriage. In a letter from 2021 that has since been deleted, he explained that he was married to one of the most generous and kind people I know, and that he was joining her in a commitment to pass on an enormous financial wealth to serve others. According to the New York Times, Scott has donated $12 billion to over 1,200 organizations since making her pledge, including a sizable contribution to Planned Parenthood. These two divorces highlight an increasingly common aspect of love and finance that has nothing to do with money. First, it was announced that billionaire philanthropist MacKenzie Scott, the ex-wife of Amazon founder Jeff Bezos, was divorcing her second husband, former science teacher Dan Jewett. After less than 2 years of marriage, it was announced that Perry Green, the husband of Republican Georgia Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene, was seeking a divorce after 27 years of marriage. Both cases were filed in states with diametrically opposed divorce laws. Moreover, unlike the Greens, Scott brought billions of dollars into Jewett's life. They do, however, share one important feature. Scott and Greene have avoided airing any dirty laundry, and their splits appear to be amicable in their divorce filings. According to the divorce petition filed in King County, Washington, there is a clear reference to a separation contract between Scott and Jewett. According to Washington state law, a separation contract can discuss the disposition of any property owned by both or either of the spouses, among other things. Washington is one of the few remaining community property states, which means that assets acquired before the marriage are considered separate property, while assets acquired during the marriage are considered marital or community property. Georgia, where the Greens filed for divorce, is an equitable distribution state, which means assets are divided equitably, if not equally, based on a variety of factors, including the spouse's conduct during the marriage. Debts, earning capacity, and retirement requirements. Assets acquired prior to the marriage are typically treated as separate property as well. Mr. Green's divorce papers make no mention of a prenuptial agreement outlining what happens next with the couple's income and debts. Mr. Green's filing in Floyd County, Georgia Superior Court instead requests a fair and equitable division of marital assets, as well as an equitably divided marital debt. To be sure, this does not necessarily imply that the Greens did not have a prenuptial agreement. However, if Mr. Green wanted one enforced, he would most likely mention it in the divorce petition. According to one Georgia divorce lawyer, normally, if you're happy with your prenup, you'll mention it in the complaint. According to attorney Robert Boyd, founding shareholder of Boyd Culler, Nolan Tuggle and Roddenberry, an Atlanta-based law firm that focuses solely on matrimonial law. It's almost without exception, and especially if you want it enforced, you'll say something about it, he added. Mr. Green's attorney's office declined to comment. Take the divorces out of the equation, and Scott and Greene may have very little in common, especially given the states in which they were filed. However, the cases were filed at a time when prenuptial agreements were on the rise, particularly among younger Americans. Of course, she has billions and a charitable vision. It's not surprising that Scott has a separation agreement outlining her property and the property of her former partner Dan Jewett, a former school teacher. Scott's first husband, Jeff Bezos, is one of the world's wealthiest men, second only to Tesla. Elon Musk, the founder of Tesla, is in the know. His divorce from Scott in 2019 contributed to his fall from no, but you don't have to be on the Forbes rich list to pull off such a stunt these days. According to a Harris poll in a similar survey from 2010, 15% of married or engaged people said they signed a prenuptial agreement. Only 3% of those polled by Harris said they signed one. Prenuptial agreements, moreover, encourage couples to be completely open about their plans and finances. Even more people like the idea of a document outlining how to carve out and protect assets in advance of any split. More than 4 out of every 10 people. Prenuptial agreements were supported by 42% of respondents. According to the Harris poll, this is up from 28% in 2002. According to the survey, Harris noted that prenuptial agreement support is especially prevalent among younger couples. though 32% of unmarried poll participants said they'd likely sign a prenuptial agreement before marriage. 52% of Gen Z poll respondents and 40% of millennial poll respondents said they'd sign one as Quentin thoughtful. According to MarketWatch's financial advice columnist in his Money Is column, marriage is many things, but it is also a business contract in addition to a commitment to spend the rest of your lives together, or, at the very least, a demonstration of willingness to do so. When it comes to prenuptial agreements, there are no hard and fast rules. It all comes down to what each party considers to be fair. He continues, "The art of a prenup is to strike a balance between compassionate and supportive issues and financial concerns." Another survey conducted years ago discovered that younger couples were considering marriage contracts in 2016. Half of divorce lawyers polled by the American Academy of Matrimonial Lawyers said they were receiving more requests for prenuptial agreements from millennial clients. Prenuptial agreements are more common than they used to be, Boyd explained to MarketWatch. Several years ago, Freud's firm would negotiate 10 to 15 prenuptial agreements per year. He estimates that 2 or 3 prenups are now signed each month. The documents could reveal a tangled web of love, money, and family. However, in Boyd's experience, they have become less of a source of contention when clients seek them. It's common for parents to insist on a prenup, he says. According to Boyd, prenuptial agreements are becoming more popular as people marry later in life, after they've had more time to establish careers and accumulate assets while single. Another reason why second marriages fail is that many future spouses do not want to go through the process of dividing up the marital estate again, he says. Despite the fact that Mr. Green's divorce papers state that the marriage is irretrievably broken, the Greens issued upbeat statements together. "Perry and I started a family and raised 3 wonderful children. Mom, he gave me the best job title you could ever have. You'll be eternally grateful for how wonderful a father he is to our children," Representative Green said in a statement. "This is a private and personal matter, and I ask that the media respect our privacy at this time." According to the Times, Jewett did not contest the divorce. Property division terms were agreed upon in a contract that was not made public as part of a separation contract. The presence of a prenup was not confirmed by court documents, but the former couple used a separation contract in which the former spouses agreed on the terms of the separation, including what happens to the marital property. On Wednesday, Jewett did not immediately respond to People's request for comment. People also contacted Scott's attorney. Scott shares 4 children with Bezos, 58. The two were married for 25 years before they announced their split in 2019. She is also one of the wealthiest women in the world, and is ranked No. 39 on the Bloomberg Billionaires Index, with a net worth of $28.9 billion as of Wednesday afternoon.